What's going on here, boys? The last week of February. We closed the last week of February. This is the least amount of trades I've ever taken in my entire life. I'm not even joking. Least amount of trades I've taken in February ever. So I have taken 2 trades this month. 2 trades. Closed both at break even because I didn't like the reaction they were giving, and they ended up going to stop loss. So there was one trade this month. There was one single trade that potentially I could have got in without waiting for a 4-hour bottom wick, and that would have hit TP. Besides that, there's literally nothing else. People I learned from in the space, people, my old mentors, they were down anywhere from 4 to 5% this month. And trust me, I know they are. Even though, they might not post it, trust me, I know they are. So, yeah, I mean, it's crazy to perform better than, these people I originally was taught from, and to skip all of these trades and watch them lose right in front of my eyes while they don't understand what's going on it's a great feeling. It's a great feeling. It's amazing to me how much, I'm learning and stuff like that. And I really do think it takes a lot more skill to skip bad trades and understand why they're bad trades, where they're going, and call that for the last month every single day. And I've been spot on. And I think that takes a lot more skill to do that than to rather take a low quality setup that you really don't understand why it's going to win or lose, and it does end up winning, right? So you feel good about yourself. That really isn't skill, right? If you're going to take trades like that, you're also going to take the trades that are going to end up losing in the long run anyways. So it really doesn't matter. It takes a lot more skill, I feel, as if seeing trades, saying that, hey, this trade's going to lose because XYZ, it's going to go to, this level instead, and it does that every single time. I've been spot on this month. And I mean, it's crazy. It's literally crazy. The stuff I've been learning and studying every single day, I'm only getting better at it. And yeah, it's great. So I'm gonna pull up the charts of every single trade that happened this week. Me personally, old me, I would have taken, I would say, about 5 positions. There's roughly about 4 or 5 good quality positions that I thought they were great quality before, and I skipped all of them, right? And before I would have taken, I would have been down 4 or 5% again this week. So yeah, I mean, if 90% of people was closing this month as a red month, and I'm sitting here and I didn't take a single trade, and I'm break even, I will gladly take that, because that's better than the majority of what LSD offered this week, right? I will gladly take that. So yeah, that's it. I'll pull up the charts. We'll go over them. I'm not going in depth, guys. I'm not going in depth. I've went in, it's somewhat into depth on other videos. I can't do it anymore, okay? Until, I do end up opening up a community, I will start openly teaching and openly post more in-depth videos explaining on why I skip these trades and why I take these trades. The position I'm at right now, there's people that watch my videos and just straight up, take what I say and pretty much LARP with it with their Discord communities and people from third world countries. So I'm not doing that, okay? Trust me, any type of data point I bring up or anything I show, people will just take it for their own communities and start posting about it. Trust me, I've been through it with fucking, my old mentors that I learned from. I'm not that stupid anymore. I'm not doing that shit. So, yeah, but I'll pull up the charts and kind of give you guys a quick understanding. Again, not real in depth, but on what I skipped this week. So yeah, I'll pull up the charts. All right, so here we are, an insane week, literally an insane week. All of these I skipped, which is, it's crazy. It's literally crazy. So let's just start with Euro JPY. Euro JPY at 8 a.m. on Monday. Okay, so this right here. So this, nope, that's Thursday's trade. Monday. So, okay, so Monday it was this trade. Yeah, again, it's kind of hard to explain these without going super in depth. I mean, the most basic answer I can kind of give you guys is liquidity is resting under our low right here, right? We want to see a manipulative move through that liquidity and again, manipulate this level of liquidity and pinpoint exactly where we're going to react from to continue up. Not only that, trend's super unclear right now for buys at all, right? So what we do? Well, we took our liquidity and we ran with it, right? We took our liquidity, we ran up with it. And then what we do? Then we came down, okay? And of course, internally, you're getting buys, right? And when you get those internal buys like that, you get an entry candle and it makes it look like a good trade and you have your stop loss and then you get stopped out, right? And all this movement is internal retracements, just like how we had right here, an internal retracement. We move down, internal retracement. We move down, internal retracement. We move down, internal retracement. We move down. It's the same thing over and over again. So this right here, sometimes people will be like, oh, it just stopped me out and then it went in my direction. You know, I need a bigger stop loss or something like that. That's not the issue. It's a bad trade. Like, stop coping with these stupid answers. I know someone was saying about how institutions are seeing LSD. Do you understand how retarded that sounds? Do you genuinely understand how retarded that sounds? No one's saying LSD has 3 mentors in the space. 3 half decently big mentors, I should say. They're not even that big, right? You think they're seeing their videos and they're like, oh no, LSD, we have to target their stop loss now. Are you retarded? Genuinely. 90% of people that's trading this strategy is on evaluations anyways because they can't properly trade it because it's not properly taught by these guys. And half these guys teaching this model are hiding all of their losses. Trust me, I've been in these communities. I literally watch them. They hide all their losses. They promote 90% win rate months. And they promote, oh, LSD is so good. Do you understand that if price is moving like this, and we get a sweep of liquidity and a tap into demand, that's your reaction point, that's your trade. That's what they are teaching, that's what they say, you know, perform so good, you know, that's gonna get you 90% win rate months, you know, and they post all these videos saying 80-90% win rate back testing sessions. It's crazy, bro. It's genuinely embarrassing. You have to do that as a full grown man to try and LARP core sells. It's crazy. That's not how the market works. You know, yes, that's an entry model, and that's all it is. That's an entry model. If you're watching this and you get a demand zone followed by a level of liquidity and you get that reaction candle, that entry model is going to pop up 4 or 5 times a day, all the time. If you don't understand when to use it, then you're just going to be unprofitable. And like I said, that ties back into, I'm not going to say any names, but people genuinely think banks and institutions are seeing LSD. Are you kidding me right now? That's not how it works, and that ties back into, again, 90% of people's on evaluations anyways. They're targeting, first of all, I believe price is algorithmic, and I believe price moves algorithmically, and I believe price moves fundamentally as well. Fundamentally meaning, yes, banks buying, right? Fundamentally meaning banks reacting to news. Yes, all of these things, but I also believe that price moves in an algorithmic way. Okay, so the fact that banks see LSD stop losses is just absolutely insane. That you know, that's not true at all in the slightest. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So our job is to make sure we find valuable liquidity, and we want to manipulate that liquidity and enter positions off of there. And again, we already took liquidity, and all price is doing is chopping down to this rough demand zone, and we get an internal reaction to then continue down. So that's an easy skip. I don't think too many people took this position. I don't even know too many people that actually trade Euro JPY, but I just kind of want to go over that. So let's go over NAS 5-minute supply. Oh wait, this was a trade on US 30 that lost. I don't trade US 30. I'm not even actually going to go over that one, guys. I'm not even going to lie. It was a supply. Screw it. I just saw someone else take it, so I figured I'd go over it. What day was this? Tuesday at 4:15. Tuesday 4:15. Here. So this was a supply zone. This kind of has to do with higher time frame analysis and why I skipped this trade, so I'm not really going to go into too much depth. But you know, price just obviously we ran super hard down, and all we're doing is generating orders to go fill in this this pretty much this big expansion move right here. That's really all we're going to do. We're generating orders down here, and in the higher time frame, there's some other things as well that I'm not going to go over, but you know. It's kind of clear skip, and I don't even trade this. I just saw someone else traded it, quickly looked over it, and that's kind of what I found. So yeah, if you trade US 30, then you know, there you go. So GJ Tuesday 425. Tuesday, that's Thursday. Wednesday, Tuesday. All right. So 425. Okay, so this was this position. This was like bro, look at this. Look at this move. Tell me why you would place a trade right here, bro. All of this overexpansion. Look how hard we ran. Look at this massive leg up, right? You think this one little candle right here, this one bearish candle has enough liquidity generated underneath it to go and push past these new highs? Absolutely not. It's common sense, and this is the market structure that's, you know, pushed with trading normal liquidity, supply and demand, is this right here. Like, this is literally the strategy. It doesn't work like demand zone, one little bearish candle, right? We're super overextended, and we took no important level of liquidity at all, right? And what's it do? It gives an entry candle right here, and what happens? Surprise, surprise, you just get stopped out. This trade didn't even hit a 1 to 2. Damn. So yeah, I mean, kind of easy skip right there. Some people did take this position though. I mean, I didn't take this position. It's kind of obvious for me. Yeah, you know, all we did was just generate sideways to generate more orders, and then we were able to push up. You really think that one little bearish candle was enough liquidity generated below it to come out and take out those orders and continue up to go and then make new highs while it's already overexpanded as it is, you know? And you have to look at the time of the day you're in as well. You know, that might be a hint that, you know, we already had our expansion move throughout the night. So that's that. Oil, everyone took this trade. That's kind of why I marked that down. A lot of people took this trade. 9 a.m. oil Tuesday. Okay. So I think my old mentors in the space that I learned from took this trade as well. This was an easy, very easy skip for me. And it kind of has to do with some other things that I'm not going to go over, but to kind of give you guys a rough understanding, I'm not too sure I can here. Yeah, it mostly, I mean, I can't really explain too much on this trade, if I'm being honest with you guys, without giving you a bunch of sauce, and I'm not going to do that right now. So, I mean, internally, I guess you can look and say that this liquidity is fairly weak, you know, for this move, right? That liquidity you're telling me is all we're going to take to fuel a massive move to the buy side, with, you know, these lows resting underneath here. There's some other things, again, that I'm just not going to go over. And yeah, that's, you know, I skipped this trade. I'm pretty sure this was one of those trades that half these trades, guys, I'm recording a full-on video explaining why they're going to lose and exactly where price is going to go. And it's literally spot on. I did that with Nas and Gold yesterday. Yeah, I believe yesterday. I did that with Nas and Gold yesterday. And, yeah. I mean, I had to delete a bunch of stuff that I draw on my chart. I can't remember exactly what I drawn, but, yeah, I mean, I just, you know, I'm not going to go too much in depth with that, but I skipped that trade. I saw some manipulation of some certain levels, and, you know, that's kind of why I skipped that trade. I felt as if we were going to target lower. That's why. GN. This was actually not a bad trade. I just don't trade Asia session. So let's quickly go over that one real quick. GPNZD, 30-minute time frame. 1930 on Tuesday. Oh no, this isn't the good one. There is a trade. There's a trade somewhere in Asia session that I swear is a good trade. It might be on Gould actually. There's one of these setups. So this one right here was kind of a clear skip because you have liquidity, but again, this goes over exactly what I talked about. We just targeted our main level of liquidity, so why would you take this trade right here after we just took out our liquidity, right? We have our low, we have our high, right? We have clear lows resting right here. You know, this is a fine trade to take, but we took our liquidity right there. We took our liquidity and we manipulated to the buy side. And then we took it again, right? We came back down and all we had was, you know, tap into that demand zone and then we continued to the downside. So like, you know, at this point you're just trading normal supply and demand. There's no liquidity even involved. So that's about that trade. This might have been the one. Yeah, okay, this might have been the one. Gold, Tuesday, 18 o'clock. Tuesday. Oh, yes, right here. This was actually a fine trade to take. Can't really complain about this trade right here. I just don't trade Asia session, that's all. So yeah, you have a demand zone right here, followed by this level of liquidity, followed by this level of liquidity, right? This kind of has to do with some other higher time frame things. We just put in a weekly bottom wick, but there's so much in depth with this trade. It's crazy. I literally recorded exactly where gold's going to react from up here, where gold's going to react from down here, and all this internal movement. I literally have it recorded. It's called to a T that, you know, I'm going to have in my private community of calling price like this. So yeah, it's pretty cool. After this, I did expect bullish movement to come into play, and that's essentially what happened. So after we put in that weekly bottom wick, by the way, there's also like 2 or 3 other things that we did as well with that low. I was bullish, right? I was bullish on a higher time frame. People tell you that higher time frames don't matter in the 5-minute time frame. They 100% do. They're just kind of retarded. So anyways, there's this level of liquidity, right, internally. Nice demand followed by strong liquidity, okay? We're not talking about a 1 candle, you know, liquidity level. We're talking about an internal strong low, right? Internal strong low. This is like an hour long of consolidation right here, right? Strong low followed by a nice push up, strong low followed by another nice push up, right? We come down, we get really overextended, and we also take out liquidity, right? Did we take it in a manipulative manner? Yes, we did, right? We took it in a strong manipulative manner, right? So your entry candle would have been right there. Stop loss down here, big stop loss, 100%. Yes, big stop loss. There's not too much you can do about that, right? If you want to take the risk and set your stop loss, you know, lower or I mean higher, you can, right? That's totally up to you. But what did we do? Well, we're bullish on a higher time frame, so internally we're going to be bullish as well. Did we sweep internal liquidity? Yes, we did. Did we sweep it in a manipulative manner as an important level of liquidity? Yes, we did. We took that liquidity and we ran with it. So that's kind of, you know, that trade, beautiful trade. I don't really trade Asia session. There's not really that much trades, and usually at that time I'm working on like some other stuff as well. So maybe I'll get into it, but yeah, I mean, that would have been your own only trade right there. Gold Wednesday, I'm not even going to go over. It was a horrible supply. Everyone was watching, and it didn't give an entry unless you took a flip entry, which was at 710, so you really wouldn't have. That's kind of irrelevant because, again, it closed inside. I don't think a lot of people even took that position. Wednesday, UJ 7 a.m. long. Let's go over this real quick. 7 a.m. Oh, wait, Wednesday. Oh, yeah, right here it is. This is... Okay. God damn, bro. Alright, I'm gonna have to block that out of the video. I had the whole freaking checklist on why that trade lost. Alright, So this trade is just really more or less about how overextended we are. Look how hard we ran, how hard these legs were, right? How hard this extension was, how hard this retracement was, right? And what we start to do, we started to just purely lose steam, right? We get to the top and it gets really, really consolidatory, and we're losing all this buying pressure that we previously generated to then come back down and fill in this imbalance that's, you know, within the market, this massive overextension up, right? And that's essentially what we did. We started losing volume up here, and you have a demand zone, right? You get that entry candle. What happens? It loses. And I was able to literally pinpoint all of these swings have a meaning internally, guys. This coming down here has a meaning. This retracing to this level has a meaning. This coming down here, manipulating these lows and then chasing higher to some stuff to the left has a meaning. I can pick this chart apart. It's all algorithmic. It's literally all algorithmic. And I do it every single day, and I've been spot on. It's kind of insane. People don't even understand this type of stuff because they're learning from absolute retards in the market. If you think liquidity supply and demand is just liquidity supply and demand, it's not going to work. You're going to nonstop just lose trades. So, and that's just me yapping again. That's it for UJ. Thursday, everyone took this NAS position. This was a great trade, and I saw some people take this gold trade, which I thought was absolutely horrible, and it lost, but I'll go over it. Let's go over the main one that everyone took. Just Thursday, NAS 100, 6 a.m. Right here's the trade. This, I'm not going to go into depth on why this lost, but I recorded a whole, I think it was like an 8-minute long video beforehand on why this trade was going to lose and where it was targeting on a higher time frame, which was some levels down here, right? Which was some levels down here, and it was spot on, right? Around here, we had some Iran news, war tensions, whatever you want to call it. It's fundamental stuff that I think caused price to hang around here. And then some more major news released, you know, right before this drop as well. But, you know, then you can get into the topic is news manipulated to chase certain levels, right? That's something I've been looking into, and it's very interesting. Because, you know, there was, you know, certain levels resting below hand, and how overextended we are already, right? At this point in time, where was this, Thursday? Yeah. Look how overextended we are, right? Obviously, we're going to need a retracement, but that's besides the point. That's on a higher time frame. There's, you know, all kinds of stuff here. That this chart, you know, I had some areas down here that I suspected price would chase lower. It reacted from certain levels here to the left. And for me, it was just price is going to move lower. Also, internally, NAS, when we're going to take liquidity, we're going to be really snappy with it. We're going to be really manipulative with it, right? We're going to take that liquidity and react, right? Well, we took this liquidity and we hung around for 10 minutes, tried to push up, it failed, tried to push up again, it failed. So all this candle did was come down here and react off a demand zone, right? That's really all it was. So of course, it kind of gave you your entry candle. All this is just generating orders, right? We're just consolidating for, you know, 20 minutes before we go lower and take out that liquidity, right? And then all this is just a bunch of generation of generating orders, right? And again, some fundamental news had a role in this part, and I think that's why that it truly was so choppy. And I didn't expect, I will fully admit, I didn't expect price to actually come up and take one more leg. Again, I think it had some things to do with fundamentals. Could be 100% wrong, but we did end up continuing down. So that's why I skipped that trade. I'm not going to go too much depth, but again, I had clear things drawn. I made a whole video on exactly where we're going to go to the downside and why I skipped this trade, even though it looks like a great trade on the 5-minute time frame. You know, it looks like a perfectly fine trade in the 5-minute time frame, especially for NAS, since, you know, we're always taking buys on NAS. So that was that trade. Euro JPY also had a trade at this time right here, and if we go to the 15-minute time frame, there's this massive overextension. You know, I felt as if we were reacting from some, you know, level in that overextension, and I felt as if this was a pure manipulation of these lows. There's a sequence that I talk about with these within my community, my private Discord that I'm working on, that'll eventually come out in a couple months. But you know, kind of helps you understand the whole point of how these markets move. And I understand this was just a manipulative move to chase higher prices, and that's kind of exactly what happened. You can also just take into account that this is important liquidity. You know, there's no doubt about it, right? We have a lot of generated orders right here, right? Well, price comes up. What is that entry candle? If you want to take that in a manipulative manner, right? What is this, bro? There's obviously not much selling pressure right here, right? And even if you wanted to wait for this next candle break of candle, then you could have, and you still would have skipped this trade, because we just never really had any selling pressure. Like, obviously we wanted to chase higher prices, and that's exactly what we did. So that was that. Gold demand on Thursday, I saw a person or two took this. I didn't personally take this. For me, this was just kind of an obvious, stupid trade, but I'll go over it since some people took it. Yeah, guys, really, I'm just going over this because I saw someone in the Discord take it. That's really it, to be honest with you. You know, this is normally our liquidity. We failed to take out any highs. You know, all we did was just, all we're doing internally to try and keep it as simple as I can for you guys. We're internally just trending down, right? We're internally barreling down, right? Trending down. We take out previous lows, we retrace. All we're doing right here is taking out previous lows and internally retracing to a certain level. And again, taking out internal lows and retracing to a certain level and taking out lows. Like, we're obviously bearish. We never took out any type of level of liquidity. And what is this, bro? You're trading within a barcode, like literally within a Walmart barcode, bro. Like, this is what this is, bro. Why? Literally why? So, yeah, that one obviously lost there. I didn't take that trade. I don't think much people took that trade, but I did see someone, so I want to go over it. UJ 5:05 a.m. This was a trade that a lot of people took as well. This short position. Oh wait, no. That's not it. Right here it is. Okay, so at this point in time, I just really just keep it as simple as I can. I expected price to chase lower. Expected price to chase lower prices. Okay, that liquidity, bro. Like, what are you doing? This is not strong liquidity to fuel another leg up. Not at all. This is not strong liquidity. We have no it's different if we have an underlying reason to just continue bullish, right? Then you can get away with taking some shitty liquidity levels, right? Because then we're kind of reacting from a lot of just demands and we're just overall bullish. But there's really no reason to be overall bullish if you use your higher time frame. You understand that, we may be chasing lower prices. There might be some stuff sitting under here, right? So that's kind of why I skipped this trade. That paired with liquidity is just absolutely garbage. And what even is this entry candle, bro? Like, you should know better that's, this trade isn't gonna, it obviously did not take liquidity really quick in a manipulative manner and continue up, right? We closed candles, we tried to push higher already, we failed. So all we're doing is targeting lower things, if you know what I mean, down here, and that's exactly what we did. So, like, all of these trades were just fairly simple for me to understand. It's just taught the wrong way. So, and I'm not trying to drop all the sauce because I know there's people that will watch my videos and start teaching it to their students, and you guys know who I'm talking about if you're watching this video. It's pathetic. Grown-ass men, bro, I should say. Fuck. But, yeah. That's pretty much it for this week. Slow. Yes, slow, but, I mean, everyone I mostly know ended the week down, So, and oh yeah, let me get you guys proof. This is this last week. These are the 2 break-even trades that I've taken. We can scroll up. Oh, shit, hold up. Can't scroll up. There we go. I don't know if you guys can see. My computer's a little dusty, but those 2 trades are the 2 break-even trades I took on gold and NAS, and then I didn't take any trades this week as well. So it's dry. It's definitely dry, but like, I can sit here and complain all I want, but it's like, at the end of the day, I still wouldn't have done anything different because like all of the trades lost. You know what I mean? Like there's nothing really I can do. I saw some people had good results, right? This month, but they're also taking trades that for me was in at like 1 a.m. So like, you know, I'm not trading obviously at that time, so there's not really much I can do about that. But yeah, again, I back tested these markets enough to know that sentiment always switches, right? Like you can have again a month where like maybe there's no trades on NQ, but there's trades happening at like again like 1 a.m. for example. And then market sentiment changes, and then market sentiment changes again, and it just keeps rotating, right? So like obviously you just have to be able to push through these. I mean, and going back to what I said, it takes a lot more skill to skip trades and pinpoint exactly where we're targeting instead of taking low quality setups and them just winning, you know. And again, for me, you know, I'm not going to be, you know, dropping really that much sauce on YouTube anymore until, you know, I written some payouts and I have a community, because it's not really worth it for me at all. So I hope you guys kind of understand that. And yeah, I could just come on here and say that, hey, you know, I skipped this trade because of this, and you know, I'm not really showing you guys the true reason, right? And you guys can be like, oh, well, this guy's just pretty much lying, you know, he's just acting like he's skipping all these losses. You can think that. I don't really care, bro. I don't give a fuck, right? I know personally that for this last month, every single morning, I've been literally looking at these markets, getting my daily bias, and I've been spot on every single day on where we're gonna go, unless there's a fundamental news release, right? You can't control that, right? So, I mean, yeah, for me, this is the best I've ever personally traded, even though it's been a slow month. Best I've ever personally traded, like literally the best I've ever personally traded. And something that doesn't get talked about a lot either is it's truly harder to go without taking a trade rather than at least taking some trades, and even if those trades lose. Because me sitting here for a month, taking 2 trades that I closed at break even, 2 trades the entire month, waking up every single day at 4:30 a.m., working, literally just working every single day and taking 2 trades, that will mentally strain you, right? Whereas at least if you're putting on positions, you feel like you're doing something, right? You get dopamine within your body. You feel like you're doing something right because you're working towards trading. But again, that goes back into like, I made a video like a couple weeks ago talking about how, you know, when you place trades, you have dopamine in your body and you feel like you're doing something good, but you can't really work towards trading. You can't work towards it, right? You can't just, I can't sit there and just put more work into trading, bro. If the markets don't give you setups, the markets don't give you setups. It's your job as a trader to sit there and understand when to put risk on, when to be taking positions, and when to be sitting out and not taking positions. Most people ended the month red, bro. I literally took 2 break-even trades. That was it. That was it. And I've learned so much, bro. I learned so much every single day. Just keep studying these markets. And yeah, like I said, I mean, it's definitely mentally harder to sit here and go break even, and not so much go break even, more or less take no trades, right? The person, at least, again, taking losing trades, they're going to feel like they're doing something. And, you know, they feel like they're doing something. They get dopamine in their body, right? Because they're placing trades and they feel like they're working towards something. But at the end of the day, they're kind of all losing right now. So, like, you know, for me sitting here, going break even, you know, I'd rather have that, even though it's hard because it feels like I'm doing nothing. I know at the end of the day, it's the correct thing I should be doing. So that's pretty much it for this one, boys. For the weekly recap. Yeah, if you guys have any questions, just comment it. And yeah, that's pretty much it, boys. I will see you guys in the next one.